So for the first time in 20 years, the euro and the US dollar exchange rate have finally reached parity. This means that the two currencies are worth the same, and in today's video, we'll explain exactly how that happened and what the consequences are, and we'll also be giving you an update on macroeconomic factors that are taking a huge toll on Bitcoin's price action and the overall financial markets. If you guys are appreciating these daily market updates, be sure to like this video down below, subscribe if y'all jungies have not done so already, and let's hop into the computer, see what's going on in the market for today. All right, so in yesterday's update, we covered the upcoming CPI report. Well, the White House went ahead and downplayed the upcoming release of elevated inflation numbers while we wait for the new CPI report to be released tomorrow. They quote, "On Wednesday, we have new CPI and inflation data, and we expect the headline number, which includes gas and food, to be highly elevated." Now, going on to Google, we have a ton of headlines just talking about the inflation data and what's going to happen tomorrow. And keep in mind, usually whenever we get reports, we see volatility coming amongst the stock market and even the crypto market too. So just be wary of that. On top of that, a major gas pipeline from Russia to Western Europe went down and was shut down for annual maintenance on Monday. The scheduled maintenance is expected to last about 10 days through July 21st. And the reason why this here is important is because just last month, Russia reduced the gas flow by 60%. European officials are now even more concerned that the Russian government will delay the maintenance or only partially return the current gas supply. This would devastate the European economy since they receive roughly 40% of its gas supply from Russian pipelines. Right now, Germany and the rest of Europe are scrambling to fill gas storage in time for winter and reduce their dependence on Russian energy imports. Germany right now is still Europe's biggest economy and receives about 35% of its gas to power and generate electricity from Russia. Now, there are some talks that Russia did go ahead and close out the gas pipeline because of the current war that is still ongoing in Ukraine. Now, keep in mind, whenever we have countries that are getting limited in certain supplies, we could see the volatility arising even more amongst the economy. To segue that into the European currency and the US dollar, we are still right now at parity for the first time in 20 years. This morning, the euro, which is the official currency for 19 out of 27 European Union members, went ahead and saw that the US dollar is now at a 1-to-1 exchange rate. The last time this had occurred was in 2002 when the euro was just 3 years old, and the triggers for the relative decline of the euro include the ongoing war in Ukraine, which has fueled fear of an energy crunch and recession, as well as US interest rates moving sharply higher, pushing investor towards the dollar and from the euro. Now, while inflation is bad in the US, Europeans are simultaneously being hit with that high inflation number and also now a devaluing of their currency. Because nearly half of all goods imported into the European zone are invoiced in dollars compared to less than 40% in euros. This means more euros are needed to pay for an equivalent amount of goods because their currency has now been devalued further. So say you don't live in Europe, how does this affect us? Well, it actually affects us in a lot of drastic ways. One specific effect of the Europeans' fall against the dollar is that it's going to dampen the European tourism to the US in particular. Now, there is good news though, because by contrast, visitors to Europe from the United States benefit from the exchange rate as their dollars buy them a lot more in Europe than before. So if anyone from the US is having any type of travel plans towards Europe, then right now you would be seeing your dollar going way further. Now, going into the market data, the US was showing a little bit fairly neutral circumstances amongst all of this pretty interesting news today. And currently Bitcoin is actually trading a bit down in the past 24 hours, sitting at around the $19,800 level. Now, with all the macroeconomic FUD and the world events taking place in the past few days, it looks like Bitcoin was unable to hold those $20,000 levels once again. Taking a look at the 4-hour chart, Bitcoin is trading below all its relevant EMAs, the 20, the 50, the 100, even the 200, and the RSI is currently at a 32, nearing those oversold territories. Now, I personally still think the second half of July can get messy for the markets, and tomorrow we'll finally get those inflation numbers for June. July 26th to July 27th is going to be the next FOMC meeting where we could also get another 75 basis point rate hike. And on top of that, on July 28th, we'll also be receiving the GDP report for quarter 2, which will confirm if we are are still in a recession or not. Now, most people will agree we are in a recession, but this is going to be official news coming from our own government that yes, indeed, we are in that recession. Keep in mind, there are still substantial economic factors that are going to be pulling the price of Bitcoin. It's going to be throwing it around. And for the next, I would even say 3 to 6 months, we could definitely expect to see a lot more volatility. And I'm still not confident that the stability within the crypto markets have yet been set. Amidst all of this, if you're asking yourself, well, Brian, what should we be doing? If you do believe in crypto long-term, dollar cost averaging little by little is never a bad move to make. I personally think Bitcoin will retest its bear market lows sometime in the next few months. And at the same time, I realize that the current price of $20,000 is a bargain in the long-term vision of what Bitcoin has done. If we take a look back and notice that the previous crypto cycle really grew a lot, but it was grown on speculation. I believe the next bull run that we have is going to be even more significant because it's not going to be based on speculation. We're going to be having a lot of companies and projects that have actually been getting built up during these bear market times to sustain us and to reaching new all-time highs. The question is, are you going to be ready for it, or are you just going to FOMO again in at the top? Hopefully, if you guys are watching this, I want to look out for you. I want to make sure you guys are set up and just remind you guys that crypto is still a long-term game. Dollar cost averaging allows you to have skin in the game while protecting yourself by mitigating the risk of going all in at once. And I know it can be even more terrifying to want to invest into the markets during these times when you have talks about the recession, inflation is still continuing to go up, and you're just not sure where the future of your own finances will be held next. The good news is, bear market cycles are short-lived and bull markets run harder. Unless you need the money tomorrow, or you have zero emergency savings coming up, or you're losing your primary source of income, being able to hold through these times is going to pay out dividends, and it's all about keeping the faith within these markets. Now, real quick, let's talk about Voyager Celsius, two bigger exchanges that went ahead and had a lot of issues over the past few weeks where it seems like it's driven the markets down even further. Now, since Voyager declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which was the last update we talked about, there have been customer concerns over what happens to the USD deposits that didn't convert into cryptocurrency. So in an update posted yesterday, Voyager assured customers that it's indeed FDIC insured and the USD deposits would be returned in full pending a reconciliation and fraud prevention process. Now, while crypto investments are a different story because it's still not considered USD, under the firm's proposed restructuring plan, it remains unclear exactly how Voyager is going to refund customers for the digital assets held on their platform. Now, I will say this is a bit of some, I would say, bittersweet update, but it's excellent news for Voyager customers holding a significant USD position on their exchange, but I don't think things will go as planned for crypto holders. Hopefully, we'll be able to hear some more news on anyone who did have crypto and whether or not that would be insured too. But even this reconciliation process that should take, 2 to 4 weeks, I do think they're going to spread it out and make sure the time it takes for people to get their money is going to take a long time. Now, on top of that, we have Celsius, which has still been slowly paying off their debts, but at the time of filming this update, you still cannot withdraw your funds from their exchange. Since Friday, though, they have paid off an additional $95 million in debt. We covered this. It's been with Aave and Compound, and their most recent payments to their platforms, Celsius reclaimed another $172 million of collateral that has been locked up. Now, in yesterday's update, we talked about how they had about $215 million left. They're down to $172 million. This is still a significant amount, but hopefully as they are chipping away at this, we are able to see more progressions with this exchange here. Now, big news that we also need to cover is Gamestop, because after more than a year, Gamestop's long-awaited Ethereum NFT marketplace is finally live within this bear market. So currently the marketplace hosts an array of artwork projects that run on the Ethereum mainnet and Loopring, which is a layer 2 scaling solution. While the focus right now is still primarily on artwork, GameStop aims to be a major player in the NFT gaming space, in which NFTs are interactive items used within video games. Now, to help out GameStop's long-term vision of becoming the leading NFT ecosystem, they also partnered with Immutable X to launch a $100 million token grant that will bring game developers onto the marketplace. Now, while OpenSea and other marketplaces, like even the Coinbase one, has been pretty disappointing, or they've had an array of issues, I'm hoping that a more centralized NFT marketplace is going to be able to come over and do the right job in allowing this exchange to do well, do fairly, and to help even avoid a lot of the issues like scams that we've seen with some of these other marketplaces. Now, according to DApp Radar, we actually got news that over the past month, OpenSea's volume was still trading at about $519 million. Magic Eden, which is Solana's NFT marketplace, came in at second place at around $87 million. And if GameStop can come in and do just even a fraction of these numbers of what OpenSea had seen in just 1 month, I do think maybe there is hope that we could see some of these other companies taking over these decentralized marketplaces. Alrighty guys, so not much crazy news, really a bit more slower week. The eyeballs are still set on what we're gonna get in terms of inflation reports, and right now the market hasn't been doing much either. Now, although things are a little bit more stagnant, just keep in mind things are still moving forward. We're still progressing throughout this year, and only time will tell exactly where we're gonna be headed next. Regardless, even if it takes 2 months, 6 months, 10 months, even a few years, I know that crypto is gonna be back higher than it was before, and we are gonna see tremendous growth happen once again within this space. All right guys, if you made it till the end of this video, don't forget to comment down below the secret code word for today, and that is going to be keyboard. Comment down below keyboard, and on top of that, if you guys have not followed me yet on Instagram or Twitter, be sure to check me out there, link down below in the description. On top of that, if you guys want to check out our private membership group or even just anything else, we got crypto links down below in the description for you guys to check out as well, and you'll also be receiving a sign-up bonus by using those links too. Now, thank you all so much again for watching. Hopefully you guys have an amazing day, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.